They told me I was dead to them, but I was just getting started. The first time I realized my life could shatter in an instant, I was 16. My name is Chelsea Norton, and at that age, I was kicked out of the only home I knew, my parents' home in Austin, because I was pregnant. The words still echo in my mind. "You're no daughter of ours anymore." I remember the cold in my father's voice, the calm judgment in my mother's eyes, the way they turned our family photo face down like I had already been erased. 10 minutes to pack, and I was out. The door slammed behind me, sealing me off from the life I thought I had. I took only what I could carry, a few dollars, some clothes, and a necklace I'd hidden for emergencies. The Texas night felt endless, and the streets of Austin were unforgiving. I had nowhere to go, no one to turn to. And then there was Derek, the boy I thought loved me. At first, he promised everything, but days later, silence, blocked numbers, lawyers, threats. My first heartbreak wasn't just about love, it was betrayal. Sleeping on park benches, hiding from judgmental eyes, feeling every ounce of vulnerability, that's when I learned the hardest truth. People can discard you like trash, and family can hurt the deepest. I swore then under the cold stars that I would survive, and that one day I'd make those who abandoned me regret everything. The first step came unexpectedly, with Kayla Rhodess, a widow in her 70s who found me shivering one early morning in Zilker Park. Her eyes were sharp but kind, and she didn't ask questions. She just said, "Come with me, breakfast first. We'll figure the rest later." Her home smelled of lavender, her living room warm compared to the chill that had become my life. That day, I discovered something I had never known. A mentor could change the course of your destiny. Kayla took me under her wing, teaching me not just survival, but strategy. Build yourself so strong that they regret ever letting you go, she told me over steaming cups of coffee. From hostess at her downtown hotel chain to learning management, finances, and human behavior, I absorbed every lesson. Kayla's guidance wasn't just about business. It was about patience, resilience, and preparing for the moment when the past would come crawling back. I met Shannon Lyle in the hotel's IT department. She became the tech mastermind I never knew I needed. Together, we monitored, tracked, and learned the weaknesses of people who tried to manipulate us. Her lessons weren't just about software. They were about seeing the world through a lens of preparation. Then came Shawn, a lawyer, who became our shield. He taught me that trust could be weaponized, that legal loopholes could protect the innocent and trap the greedy. With Kayla, Shannon, and Shawn, I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was building a life designed to outsmart those who thought they could control me. Life wasn't easy. A miscarriage left me hollow, and I thought all hope was lost. But Kayla was there, guiding me through adoption. That's when Austin came into my life. A tiny, curious-eyed baby who became the center of everything I would fight for. Naming him after the city that had both broken and rebuilt me felt right. Austin was smart from the start. By age 10, he was creating apps and solving real-world problems. I nurtured him not just with love, but with strategy. Every success, every skill he gained, became a shield and a lure. I knew that one day, the people who had abandoned us might be drawn back, and when they did, I'd be ready. Even as Austin thrived, I set the groundwork. Kayla taught me to anticipate greed, to use the weaknesses of those who thought they could hurt me. Every move we made was calculated. Stories, tips, subtle hints, invisible threads connecting us to the people who had once torn my life apart. And then, 22 years after being cast out, they arrived at my door in Austin. My parents. Demanding, pounding, pretending love while hiding a hunger for something they had lost. I opened the door with steady hands, but my heart raced. This wasn't about reunion. It was about truth, and I was ready to strike. But I held back, just enough. The plan was bigger than anger. It was smarter, and this was only the beginning. They thought a lawsuit could force my hand. They had no idea the trap had been set years ago, and when they stepped into it, everything they ever valued would crumble. They thought they could control me, but they stepped right into the trap I'd been building for 22 years. When my parents arrived at my doorstep, I let them think they were in control. Patrick and Andrea Norton, polished and smug, demanding to see their grandchild. Their eyes darted around, scanning the house as if trying to locate the treasure they had missed for decades. I smiled faintly, a mask I had perfected over years of practice. "You want to see him?" I asked calmly. "You can, but first, sit down. We need to talk." They exchanged glances, uneasy for the first time in years. Their confidence, which had once crushed me, was already faltering. Over the next few days, I fed them tiny breadcrumbs of information. Hints about Austin's success, carefully curated stories about his software projects going viral. Each tidbit was calculated to spark envy, to bait them into action. They couldn't resist. Patrick started making calls, probing contacts in Austin's business circles. Andrea sent emails pretending concern but hiding greed behind each word. Meanwhile, Shannon and Shawn tracked everything. Every email, every phone call, every internet search became ammunition. I watched from a distance as my parents' old habits, arrogance, impatience, greed, betrayed them repeatedly. The first real confrontation came at a coffee shop near Austin's office. They cornered him, smiling, trying to charm, to manipulate. Austin, prepared by years of guidance, handled it with quiet strength. "I'm busy today," he said politely. "Maybe another time." Their expressions soured instantly. The bait had been taken, but they were unaware the net was closing around them. I orchestrated the next moves like a chess game. Anonymous tips, digital footprints, intercepted messages, all flowing through Shannon's expert hands. Derek, desperate after his failed ventures, tried to use guilt and manipulation to worm his way in. Every attempt only tightened the trap, exposing his own greed and desperation to us. Then came the public stage, the Austin Tech Summit. Austin, brilliant and poised, was ready to reveal his achievements. Patrick and Andrea, seated at the front row, thought they were there to bask in the glow of their supposed grandson's success. The lights dimmed, cameras focused, and the audience hushed. Austin began speaking about loyalty, trust, and the family you choose over the family you're born into. Every word carefully crafted, every pause deliberate. Behind him, the screen flickered to life. Kayla's face appeared, commanding silence. "Family is who stands by you, not who claims you when you shine. Cowards who discard their own will never find true belonging." My parents' smile tightened. A murmur ran through the room as the words sunk in. But this was only the beginning. Next came Shawn, stepping forward with evidence that would seal their fate. Projected on the giant screen were their own signatures, documents from 22 years ago relinquishing all rights to me and any children I might have. The audience gasped, their plot, their attempts at legal leverage exposed in full. Then Shannon's digital intercepts appeared. Emails, chats, and messages showing their scheme to exploit Austin's success and manipulate Derek for profit. Every lie, every plan laid bare. I stepped forward, calm but piercing. "You demanded my child? There is no child. You drove me to a miscarriage with your cruelty. Austin is my adopted son, not your blood. And everything you tried to claim is gone." The room erupted. Cameras flashed. Security moved in to serve emergency restraining orders, barring Patrick, Andrea, and Derek from any contact. Their empire of influence crumbled before their eyes. In the weeks that followed, the fallout was devastating. Patrick lost his position as chairman of his company. Major clients abandoned the firm. Andrea's social circle shrank to whispers of disgrace. Derek faced federal audits, fines, and criminal charges, all triggered by the evidence we had gathered. Meanwhile, Austin thrived. His tech ventures continued to grow, and the story of our triumph spread across social and business networks. And I finally realized something profound. Revenge isn't about anger. It's about creating a life so strong, so resilient, that it outshines those who try to break you. The Kayla Rhodess Foundation became our crown jewel, a $1 million initiative to help young single mothers in Texas, providing housing, job training, and mentorship. At the first grant ceremony, surrounded by grateful faces, I felt a sense of closure I had never imagined at 16. Turning to Shawn, I held out a ring. "Will you make this family official?" His grin, wide and knowing, was the final piece of the puzzle completed. Austin cheered beside us, his future secure, his world intact. Looking back, I realized the most powerful lessons weren't in the wealth or the schemes. They were in resilience, patience, and choosing the family that truly matters. My parents thought they had the power to destroy me, but instead, I used the pain to build a life richer, stronger, and more meaningful than they could ever imagine. Revenge served cold is the sweetest, but fulfillment comes from building, not just tearing down. And in the end, love, loyalty, and strategy prevailed, leaving the past exactly where it belongs, behind me. Chelsea Norton, once abandoned and betrayed, now standing with her chosen family, watching those who tried to hurt her powerless before the life she built with courage, patience, and cleverness.